necessary for a woman to take her husband's last name? Hi, I am Anita and you are watching Girls Gist on More for Life. We are on the street right now and we want to find out if people really think it is necessary for a woman to take her husband's last name. Let's go.
In the US, around 70% of women adopt their husband's family name when they get married. This is according to one of the largest data analysis in recent years. For British women, the figure is almost 90% according to a 2016 survey, with around 85% of those aged between 18 and 30 saying they still follow the practice. Although these figures are lower than they were a generation ago, it's clear it remains a strong cultural norm in large parts of the Western world, despite today's more individualistic and gender-aware era.
If you get married, would you change your name, your last name, to your husband's name?
Well, I don't see anything bad in changing my name to my husband's name. I can bear his name, but I can still also bear my name, so I don't see anything bad in it.
From day one, if you say we get married boy, and that boy son name will be your son in my papa house day.
Of course, it is compulsory.
Why do you think it's compulsory?
Number one, that is what has been coming from the scriptures angle. Bible says we should not remove the ancient landmark. That's the way it's been. When a woman gets married, she loses her surname automatically and starts bearing the name of the surname of the husband. That's the way it should be, and we must stick to it.
Of course, it is compulsory in as much as she's married. If she's not married, it's different. But once she's married, the Bible says, let me quote as a Christian, for this cause shall a man leave his wife and cleave to the wife, and the two shall be one. So it's not a crime. The best thing for a woman to bear her husband's name.
I don't think there's a big deal in it, but because, in Africa, like, when you get married, you have to take your husband's name, you have to continue your the husband's family lineage and all of that. So I guess, but if I see somebody that it's okay, but for me, if I want to get married, I would still like to put my surname before, like my surname will come first and then my husband's name, so we'll do it 50-50.
For some women, they'll rather keep their maiden name in addition to their husband's. Many women who keep their maiden names do so sometimes because they marry later in life or at a time when their careers are already in full swings, and it could be risky, both career-wise and financially speaking, to change names. That's partly due to the value of personal branding, or in simple terms, name recognition.
You see, some people do it like that. It's not a crime if they so wish, but me as a Christian, I prefer my wife to bear my name.
It's compulsory and at the same time it's not compulsory.
Explain.
Okay, it's compulsory, like if you are married to a name that is very influential, it's compulsory. But if it's not something that is influential, like if the name is not influential, you can just leave your own name. I don't think it's compulsory. I feel like it's an agreement between you and your husband, so it depends on whatever you've agreed on. But I don't think it's something compulsory. It's just a personal decision and it has to do with agreement with your husband too, but it's not that compulsory.
I believe that should be an agreement between both parties. If they don't agree to it, then there can't be a marriage. But if the husband doesn't mind, I'm sure she has her reasons, and if the husband doesn't mind, and I've seen people whereby they have their name, their dad's name in between, and then they also have their husband's last name. They bear the three. But if the husband is saying he doesn't mind, actually it's a tradition, it's an African thing that, oh no, this is the right thing to do, but really, it should be an agreement between both parties.
But in my own office, for example, I have some ladies that, because of their names on their certificates when they are in school, so by the time they are getting a government job, they still want to retain the name they are using before because it is already on their previous document.
Why would anybody want to change it though? Even if your father is Dangote, at least I call Mrs. New name, Ni Dangote.
What if your husband says, you must change your name to my last name, else the marriage is done? Is that going to be a deal breaker for you?
I'm sure we must have had that discussion before getting married, so that if that should happen after getting married and we both agreed on not doing something like that, then I don't think I will go through the marriage.
So if you are daughter now, you're not going to change your last name?
Yeah, I'm not going to change it.
So I believe it has been existing for so long, for so many years. So let that tradition continue.
What if the woman is like, no, she wants to continue bearing her own surname, she likes her surname?
Number for me,
So you leave the marriage?
I go pursue am.
In Nigeria, some notable women who have maintained their maiden names despite being married include Abike Dabiri Erewa, Joke Silva, Mercy Johnson, Chimamanda Adichie, Adesua Utomi, amongst others. The culture of changing your name when you get married as a woman has come to stay as a global phenomenon.